Hi, this is Charlie giving you Friday's live trading. I hope you're very well. It's actually now 10 to 11 this morning. Um, I started the intro this morning. We haven't actually taken the traders yet today, but I needed to use the recording software for a session that I was wanting to record in the trading room. So hence why I've had to restart the intro to this. So why have we missed out on this move so far? The pound's had a nice enough bounce here this morning. The euros had, there we go, a nice enough bounce this morning. It was one of those days where after yesterday's sell-off, looking at some of these markets, the euro had this potential and still has the potential to come down to that 4-hour 200. And so although I could see the potential for a bounce because we'd had these several bars to the downside here since yesterday, and we'd caught some of that yesterday in the trading room here. We shorted the Aussie, fun enough. So we got a trade on the Aussie yesterday, or yesterday afternoon. We'd had two losers to start off with, and then had a best part of 2-1 winner, and it paid for the two losses. I think the two losses were minus 1.15R and then 1.95R. So that's what happened in the room yesterday. But yeah, so I was looking at across these markets this morning and saying, okay, we've got the potential for bounces, but I really was not sure how much we might bounce, so I left them alone. Having said that, there is a potential trade on this euro dollar coming up sometime after 12 o'clock, so probably closer towards 12:30 because I've got a training session until 12:15 at least anyway. So and that pattern, that what I'm looking at is, let's see if we can squeeze this up a little bit. Okay, it's been pointed out to me by one of our traders. It's not a perfect pattern, but I'm going to give it a go this morning. This afternoon. We've made 1, 2, 3, 4 highs over here, and then we've come back off after making the new high, which created a false breakout, only to then come back off. Then we take out the last low, so take out some stops that might be down below that, and then close back inside my bands. So, and if that is going to happen at midday, when my candles close, then I'll look for a long side trade to then see if it can then gradually work its way back up to there. Having said that, I'm very aware of, like I've been saying, of this risk of the euro coming back down and wanting to get to this 200 period moving average on the 4-hour charts. That, if you look at that 200 period moving average, it hasn't been tested for ages, and it's got close recently over here, so, and really close now. So I know that is a risk. So this could just be a one bar wonder, so to speak, and then we roll over and come down for that 200. So I'm very aware of that, but at the same time you have to put trades on as well. So I'll try the trade on the long side. If it does start rolling over, then I'll see if I can get short at some point as well. So that's probably going to be the game plan. But we're not there yet, so I'll press pause and we'll come back to this later. But at the moment, it's all high time frame, bigger time frame stuff here so far today. The video here. Right, okay, so just back. It's now 1 o'clock, and I was talking about this euro dollar coming up and the potential for these highs here, but I've just been saying to the guys in the trading room here that I feel like I'm pushing it a little bit because this pattern itself is not ideal because we've got these prior highs up here. Normally these would be the highs of the move. Okay, so what I've just said to the guys is, look, although that is a potential and I'd love to see it go up for those, I don't have to trade it on this pullback that we're getting after this up bar, because my concern is this 200 moving average down here. So because of the conflict, I'm thinking, I know, I don't have to buy it just after this and buying a dip. What I can do is see if it turns back up again. So we're having a reaction at the moment. If it turns back up after this, so if I go to like a 5-minute chart, okay, so here's our pullback that we're getting at the moment. If it turns back up again, then I can then look to trade it with momentum on the next, if it then does turn back up. I can still get a decent risk reward. I'm not going to get as good a price, but the risk reward will still be good because I'll be trading it based on the 5-minute charts as far as stops are concerned, and then still trying to run it back up ultimately back up to these sort of high area. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sacrifice some points, so to speak. But then again, my risk reward is if I trade it directly off of this candle, I've got to put a stop down at the lows anyway. So I think that's a better plan. And then at least if the euro does decide to just carry on rolling over here this afternoon, I've not got myself into a long trade in the middle of the afternoon, and I don't have much. And if it fails, I don't have much chance to get that back. Oh, talking of which, although I'm just going to show you the P&L. I didn't say this morning. We actually had a trade yesterday, and it was this trade here, the £398 trade. Forget this one here. That's an open position. It was this 398. That's what we had yesterday, which was the Aussie dollar. I think I said earlier on that we actually shorted the Aussie yesterday, and that hit its target overnight. So when that came down, if I take that to an hourly chart, we shorted somewhere around about here, low 70s, 69.73, and then exited at 69.40, which hit overnight on a limit order. So that's what we did yesterday, but we haven't done anything today. But I was just having a discussion with the guys to say, I'm up on my trade calls this week 1.3R. So I've had a couple of losers, a couple of winners, 1.3R. Okay, and it's one of those things that it's very easy to think, well, it's Friday afternoon, do I want to take another trade? Because it's a 50-50 call. On a Friday afternoon, you might only get one trade as the clock's ticking down. If there's not a lot of volatility, at least, then it might only be one trade. So that is quite often a common question amongst traders to themselves to say, oh, do I want to take this trade? And I totally get that. Some traders don't want to because they say, right, I'm done for the week, I'm finished, I want to finish on a high, so to speak. I totally get that. But I sort of see it these days that, well, yes, there is that, but if I've got a good enough setup, then I'll trade it. And so that's what I'm still looking for. So we'll see how we go here, coming back to the euro. So it was the Aussie yesterday. We looked at dollar CAD this morning. Now, we have got news coming out of in Canada. We've got their employment figures coming out in 25 minutes time. It's 1:05 as I'm at the moment. So we'll come back and have a look at that, but I don't want to trade the volatility around that news, so I'm just going to have a watch of that. But for the time being, either this euro is going to roll over, and if it does roll over, we might be able to capture a little bit of a run down to that 4-hour 200. So if it does start to roll over this afternoon, I'm going to be watching it like a hawk. There won't be a lot of points in it, but the potential is to get a trade there yet. So there's some potentials, but it's been a day where we've done in the trading room loads of analysis, and we've done some really good training sessions in the trading room. We've been doing a load of testing on some of our members on some of the strategies, my strategies, but yeah, it's I haven't taken a single trade as yet, but quite relaxed today in that regard. It's just been a little bit of conflict. Let's just see where we go. So it could be like yesterday. Yesterday the market's only really kicked off like post 3 p.m. yesterday. So we've had some half decent runs, nice bounces there, and same with cable, and so we've had some half decent runs, but we'll have to see how we're going to get on this afternoon. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and this is cable now. We've turned around. I almost wish, I don't know if Don, you're around at the moment, one of our members, we were talking about this euro dollar and buying it after the 4-hour candle, but it was too much uncertainty for me here today. But so far, all these markets have turned. Euro, S&P, Aussie, they've all bounced, and it was really uncertain. I didn't know with that 200 down there, and if you're trading like and there's too much uncertainty, there's no point in taking the trade. So we've come up so far on the euro. Could this still be just a bounce? It could be, but it's certainly looking a lot better now because it's had its chance to come down and it hasn't followed through. So I'm going to take it that this euro is going to at least hold up. But this is the hourly chart. It's below the hourly 50, so I'm not actually going to trade the euro now. I'm going to switch to the pound most likely, because the pound, as you can see, is on already well above its key moving averages there. So the pound is going to be the trade for me. So what I'm looking for is a bit of a pullback at some point, hopefully down to my band, something like that. And that will be what I'm going to be doing to get in. So after all this time, it looks like I'm going to get a trade today. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, just back here, and I'm just literally bouncing from euro to pound, still looking to see if I'm going to get a long off here. Like I've said, the pound I think is the better one of the two, but the pound's running away a little bit. So let's go to the pound. The pound is that bit stronger than the euro, as I've already said. It's above all these key MAs. It is that bit stronger. It's not. We were just looking. We've been sitting here waiting for it to do this pullback, and it hasn't quite pulled back enough, and is running away from us again. So I might have the option to trade the euro, but the euro chart doesn't look quite as good as the pound. If I take you back out to the pound hourly chart, there you can see where we're at. That's where we're getting closer towards those highs. I wanted a bit of a pullback. Now we're at 239. Oh, let me just see. Is that email okay? Is he approved? I was supposed to be on a call right now. Good. Right. I was supposed to be on a call with a developer, and I've had to say I can't do the call this afternoon. This is looking like a very nice candle, so there might be something secondary to do with cable, and maybe even the euro. The euro's still a decent up bar, but it's got a bit more work to do. But if I go out to the daily chart, puts it into perspective, see what it's up to. Not a bad day, but the pound on the daily chart is just that bit better. So what I'm doing is I'm watching across all of the markets actually, right the way to the S&P. This is the S&P futures. Again, that's coming up as well. Bit more directionless overall, really, with the S&P, but it's having it's holding up quite well here. So this afternoon, but boy oh boy, I've been sitting around today a bit, and I was talking to the guys here in the room, and there's certainly been opportunities, but there's been conflict today. It's been one of those days. So I could have taken trades, which actually would have worked out if I'd have bought the euro after this pullback, after that 4-hour chart. Yes, in hindsight, I can say, well, yep, that would have been a lovely run. But there was this conflict with this 200 MA down here, and they do act like tractor beams once price starts getting close. But again, I thought it was going to hit a couple of weeks ago, but anyway, it didn't. And I thought again today, I've got this conflict, I'll leave it. But and maybe it still rolls over yet for it. Not today now, I wouldn't have thought, but maybe into the early part of next week. But right now, we've now got a bit of strength coming in, so it's that long side that I might as well be looking at. And so I'm just flicking through all of my time frames to see various different time frames. I've got a 2-hour chart here as well, just to see how it's all looking across the board, right the way out to an 8-hour chart as well. So it's all looking okay across the board, but it's middle of Friday afternoon, and I'm also conscious that it could just fizzle out. So are we going to see an extended move here, or are we going to fizzle out? And so that is the question. So let's go back to the pound. And the other thing with this trade, if I get a trade here, is going to be this is likely to be my only trade of the day at 20 to 3 in the afternoon. So as I've said, there's always that debate as to whether you want to still trade when you start getting later in the day on a Friday afternoon. Do you actually want to take a trade? But what I am going to do is I'm going to trade with a reduced position size as a result. Okay, so I am going to trade with a reduced position size on this. So I do want to trade, but it's going to have to be a reduced position size. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back. Do you know what? I've just gone long cable, and I forgot to put the recorder on while I was doing it. So I've just put the trade on. I haven't put the stop loss in yet, so let's just quickly do that. I was just doing it with the guys in the room, and I'm busy putting the punching the details into our app. and I forgot to actually. So, like I said, it's a part position size, so to speak, because of the time of the day and everything else. So, the stop's going down at 126.20, so it's a 20 pip stop with a, like I said, a part position size. It's not a full position size on this. So I'm risking. I think it'll be roughly. I haven't calculated completely. Risking about £100, but the target will be higher if it can go up. I mean, it's a big ask at this time of day on a Friday afternoon. It's a big ask, but if it can bounce a bit, then I'll start to trade manage it aggressively anyway, as far as that stop's concerned. Um, what else is there to say? You know, targeting what I'm looking at is we've got around about 126.80. That's what I'm going to be targeting on this. So it's a bit of a big ask at this time, like I said, on a Friday afternoon. We've got these highs here, but I'll just trade manage it through those highs. So if we start bouncing up into those highs, then I'll be moving the stops up a bit anyway. So I've got in there at 40, and we'll see if it can do it. If it's not going to do it, you know, that's the end of the afternoon. So it's just going to be, like I said, I'm up 1.3R for the week in the trading room here, and I'll be giving back a part of that. If that's the case, so let's see what happens here. So entry was in at 40, and now the cable's deciding to pull back a little bit more. But that's why we put the stops in when we do, to give it that room to overshoot or whatever on those. So let's see how we get on, and I'll come back to this. I'll press pause now. Don't forget to say that as well. Okay, so I was just saying to the guys that if cable can get a bit of a bounce off of this pullback, then once it gets up to my upper bands, if it can bounce back up there, then I'll start aggressively moving this stop up to the lows, and then we'll see how we go. Oh, there we go. So just the 5-minute candle's just closed. So if we can get a bit of a bounce back up into the 40s, then that's what I'll do. But cable's been the strongest currency pair here this afternoon, today. All day, really, it's been the strongest one. So let's just see. Euro, what I'm watching off screen, and is actually holding up slightly better in relative terms since doing its band play. So if I look at the Euro, held up a bit better there. So if we do get the bounce, then I can start managing the stop. The stop's down here at 26.20. At some point, if we get a reversal at some point and a bounce, then I can move it up to whatever level the stop is. But at the moment, no, the pound wants to pull back here. So it may be that it's just had too good a day. I don't know. We'll see. So I'll take this back down to the multiple time frames and see. Now, like I said, it is a smaller position anyway. I'm protecting the positions here on a Friday afternoon. What was I going to say? Protecting the positions on a Friday afternoon. But if we can get a run, then it's still, whatever it is, a 2-to-1, risk to reward. If it does start to come back up, and this might just be a bit of noise as well, but my only concern is it's Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock now, and are we about to fizzle out? I'm keeping an eye on the likes of the S&P, which has just sold off a little bit, and that could well be the end of it. And we've just had a bit of a couple of hours bounce, and then that's it. So hopefully not. Hopefully we can go and get a bit of a run here this afternoon. Fingers crossed there. So I'll come back to this in a bit. Okay, right, just back here. So we're starting to get the bounce coming in here. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be aggressive on this afternoon, and just get these stops moved. This stop moved up. So it's already going up to below this low. So I'm moving it up to 126.30. So stop's going up to 26.30 there. So I'm just going to put that onto the app as well. So stop has been moved, 126.30. I'll press pause. So nice and aggressive is what I said I'd do, and we'll just see if it can break up. Just my concern is 3:05 in the afternoon. Are we going to run out of power? But Wouldn't it be a treat if we just had a bit of a late afternoon run, more so than we've already had, and that would be fun. Anyway, stops moved up. Press pause for now. Okay, just back. And so what I'm going to do, if we can get back up to these highs on cable, then I'll trowel the stop. That's a little bit more to about 34 below these the close here. So if it can do that, I was just saying to the guys that really, like I keep saying, we're gone 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. The risk is this all just fizzles out. That is the risk. Don't get me wrong. We could go and get some sort of mega late afternoon rally on a Friday, but the risk is it fizzles out. Hence why we've managed the risk here this afternoon and just put a smaller position in and aggressively managing it. So if we can get back up to here, then hopefully then it can break out and carry on. But then I might as well move that stop up to just below that low. So I'm trying to be as aggressive with it as I can without completely choking it off. So we'll just see. So if we can get up to here, then I'll move the stops up. Stop up. Okay, just back. So we've got up to these highs. So let's move the ticket, bring the ticket back over. If I can drag it across. There we go. So now I'm going to move that stop up to 34. 34 that stop's coming up to. Yep, below that. Yeah, about 34. Yeah, okay. Okay. So we're being aggressive on this, but and then we're just going to see. For a bit there, I was concerned that this was going to fizzle out, and we're just, I've taken a trade finally all day, and then it's fizzling out, which it might still do yet, but at least we've managed to been able to aggressively manage the stop and position size. So yeah, it's not really going to amount to much if it does roll over here, but you never know. Maybe we can still get a bit of a break. I'll press pause. I'm just going to say this on the thing. Okay, just back here. Now, I was just saying to the guys in the room, if cable breaks out now, then we'll move the stop up to break even. All right? So if it can break up again now, 55, that sort of area, being aggressive, I'm just going to move the stop up to break even. I'm not even going to move it to that low, but I'll move it to break even. So it'll be about, I think, 41 on mine. What was my entry? Oh, my entry was at 41. Right, okay. I thought it was at 40. Okay. My finger on the trigger wasn't that good, was it? So if it can get up there to 55, I'll move the stop up. I was just saying to the guys in the room, though, I'm getting close because we're at 3:30 in the afternoon. Wouldn't mind taking the dog out for a little walk, but then the markets are still moving around. Trying to decide what to do here at the moment. Do you walk the dog? Do you not walk the dog? We shall see. Let's see if we can get breakout first. Press pause. Okay, so we're just going to move the stop up to break even now. Now the pound's come up, so let's move this. Oh, might as well bring this across, hadn't I? Right, let's move that stop up. Break even on mine is about 41. So it'd be the way the Saxo Bank. I say this every week that I might do these videos. Saxo Bank, the offer has to go below 42. So I put it in at 42 in order to get me stopped out at about 41. That's basically what it'll do. So the stop's now at break even. Break even stop, guys. Whatever your break even is. But we still need to see if this is going to break out. It's really having a, considering we got in probably about an hour ago now. It's really having to think about it. And I just keep saying this. It's 10 to 4 now. Are we just running out of gas? But we're on a break-even trade anyway, so whatever. I'll press pause for now. Okay, so I'm going to bring the limit order over now for cable because it's trying to break. I still don't know if it's going to get there, and I keep saying it's going to run out of steam, but it keeps going up. I'm going to put the limit order in there at 126.80. Why 126.80 is because on the daily chart, 88 is this daily 200, my yellow moving average there. Literally, it's arbitrary this afternoon, just looking for an excuse for an exit, really. So just to see if it can go. It's had a good run, still having a good run. Let's see if it can get there. So that's at 88. I'm putting the order in just a little bit below that at 80. So, of course, the pound's got these highs to contend with, but I'm just trade managing this at the moment. So that's all we're doing. We've got to break even, so I'm just trade managing through this. So for now, I'm going to drag that ticket over again. I'm now going to put the take profit in there at one. Oh, it's put up I say a recommended one. It just, as soon as you put a stop order in or opt to put one in, then it will come up with something which is a certain percentage away. What did I say? 126.80. 1.268. There we go. 126.80 is that, but I'll carry on managing this up. We'll carry on moving the stop up as well, as the pound gets into this zone, to these highs. We'll try and move it up into a little bit of profit as well. Again, like I've been saying all along, I didn't want to choke this completely, but I have been aggressive here this afternoon, because, as I keep saying, it's the time of the day. So, but we, depending on if we can get a bit of a leg going, a bit more than we are, then I will start to trail that stop up. And it's all going to be arbitrary, really. Here we go. So we're up at that 60 now. So I will get that stop up. Let's move it up to 45. I'm trying to just, come on. You've got to go. If you're going to go, you're gonna have to have a bit of a whoosh move. So let's move the stop up to 45 now. So let's see if I can get that off screen. Bring it back up. So 45. So at least it's into a little. When I say it's into profit, it really isn't much, but it's paying the costs, so to speak. It's certainly bridged all spreads and everything, beyond break even now. So, but I can see off screen. Let's go and have a look at some of the others. I think the S&P, it must be up a bit as well. And no, the S&P's, no, it's not. It's been doing all right generally, but it's just been coming off a bit there. So those currencies are just doing their own thing at the moment, which is great. I don't want them being reliant on the S&P. I want them to be moving up. The euro is pushing up here. The euro is having a good run, and it really was a toss-up between the euro and the pound. But the euro was against that hourly 50 at that time and just reacting to that. So it felt like the pound was going to be the better one, because remember, on these charts the pound was clear of all of that, and that's why I took the pound here today. So I mean, it's up 20 pips at the moment, but it's still got another 20 pips to go. So we'll see how it goes. Stop's been moved up a bit more, and I'll carry on moving it up. Probably the next level, I've got it at 45 already, so yeah, no, that'll do for now. Finally back here. I elected to go and walk the dog, because it was getting a little bit tedious up there. So I've just done like a, I don't know, half-hour walk or whatever. But so I finally got trading stopped out there. If you remember, it was I don't know where we were when I left, but the stop was up at 45. So finally been trading stopped up. It's held up rather well here. What time is it now? Coming up to 5 o'clock. Generally speaking, they've held up rather well. I'm quite impressed, considering it's a Friday afternoon. No point. Well, I think the position size was not. It wasn't big enough to warrant trying to bank half or do anything like that on this against these highs. That was always going to be a risk. But it was just a case of, okay, let's see if we can get through it. So it didn't get anywhere. Let's just drag it across. So it was at 45. So I got stopped out at 44 there. Oh, I see what I mean. It was just a few pips up from my entry, which was at 41. So it was £12. I might be able to afford to put some petrol in the car. Beauty. But anyway, a good week overall this week. So and a nice little bit of fun. I've been enjoying the trading room here. Even this afternoon, when we've been going through this trade, it's been a bit of fun doing the micromanaging. It just makes it a bit of fun on a Friday afternoon. So I think that's all I have to say, really. Be back in touch. I think I'm doing Fridays next week as well. So I'll see you next Friday for live trading. But there will be, no doubt, a video in the week as well. Take care for now. Enjoy your weekends.